see you now, didn't you? You tried to sneak by me now, didn't you? Now give me what you promised me. Give it here. Come on. God, it goes all right, y'all.
Welcome to Freewater Experience. This morning I want to walk you through the process of tracking a deer. When I started hunting, one of the most unnerving things was waiting. The deer's there, you finally get your shot, the shot looks great, the arrow hits the deer, and then it goes tearing off through the woods. You hear the crashing, you see it for a while, and then it disappears, and there goes your trophy. And knowing that all that connects me with that deer in the woods is a little bit of blood, stirred up leaves, and little signs that they leave, that was really unnerving to me. So this morning we're going to walk you through this process. Now, I actually just shot a doe about 15 minutes ago. It was a really good hit. She took off running. I know that she doesn't need to sit for an hour or 2 hours, so we're going to start that tracking process. One important thing is give it some time. Let the arrow do its work. Let the deer run off. Let it start bleeding out. You don't want to keep pushing a deer. If you get a good shot on it, 30 minutes is maybe a good time to wait. If you get a gut shot, sometimes 1 hour, 2 hours, or even waiting till the next day. If you're hunting an evening, wait till morning. If you're hunting a morning, wait till afternoon. And give that chance, the deer a chance to lay down and bleed out and just die. You don't want to keep bumping it. The deer gets a lot of adrenaline, and a wounded deer, even a mortally wounded deer, can run for a long ways. So we're going to start that process now. So this is a view from my tree stand. Here's my bait pile. I've got a little bit of corn out there. I've got a salt lick. This is a tree I often hang my trail cam on. The doe that came in stopped right here and started eating. When I took the shot went high. It got her lung, I'm sure, but the shot was high. That means, and it didn't pass through either. That means there may not be any blood right at the spot where I shot her, and she took off running real hard. So I'm probably not going to see any blood sign right away. The next thing you got to do when that deer starts running, pay attention. Look for landmarks that the deer is running past, that tree, a certain stump, or different things. This deer took off through the woods real hard like this, and then hooked around and went this way. And as she ran, I looked for a landmark, and I saw her jump over that log right there. That's about 40 yards. Still shaking from hunting. That log's about 40 yards out. There's chances that if I got a lung shot, she's going to be bleeding by then. So rather than follow the exact track, which may not have any blood on it, I'm going to cut straight from my bait pile to that log, and we're going to pick up tracking from there. Okay, so we're on the ground now, and I'm at my bait pile. I take a quick look around, and I'm actually mistaken. There is some blood sign right here. The spot that you hit the deer is the most important place to start. You're looking for the arrow if it passed through. You're looking for any sign of blood, and then start working in the direction the deer went. You want to pick up any signs of blood on leaves, on leaf litter. You want to look for spots on the ground where the dirt's been kicked up or leaves have been overturned as the deer runs. And that's where we're going to start. So I'm going to show you this blood sign here. Okay, that's our first bit right there. This is just 15 feet from the bait pile, and as you go, you can see there's some more. There's some more. This deer looks like it's hit real well. This might be a really easy track. So we're going to keep following this blood trail right here. We're just looking around. So we've got this sign. I'm looking in the leaf litter. I can see blood here. These leaves show it really well. This deer, yeah, this is going to be an easier track today, I'm sure. Okay, we've taken about 15 more steps, and you can see there's blood here, but here's something else that's worth noting. If you look, you can see a track here. The leaves are turned up right there, and if you look, you can see little turned up spots going through here. That's really important because sometimes the blood's not going to be real easy to see, but in this case, we've got plenty of it. We're going to keep moving along, just following each drip. There's a couple drops on this leaf, a couple on the ground. They're not always big spots, but you can always find them. And we're going to keep tracking along. Okay, here's something else I'd like to point out. Okay, I love green plants because they highlight blood and they show it so clearly. It's a lot easier, but even if you're not on there, you look at it in the leaves underneath there, and we've got really good sign here. We're going to keep moving along. Got a couple drops there. There's a couple drops in the leaves. Tiny drop on this leaf. Okay. Seems to still have a really good blood trail. The other thing you might notice as we're heading through here, again, leaves are turned up. You can see that she came tearing through here. That's a really good sign if there's no blood. You can at least go with that and get a direction. It seems they don't often change direction, at least my experience has been. They tend to, especially when they're really hauling, they're going pretty straight through the woods, and that helps. Here's another kind of sign. Looking on logs and things, just anything that helps that blood stand out. And keep on tracking. Okay, so we've walked about 15 or 20 more yards down the trail. We've got a lot of great blood sign, and I want to show you some of the sign now. We've got great blood here, there. This is really good. She's bleeding really hard. That tells me I probably got a lung shot and maybe even got her part of the heart too. But blood is bright red and easy to track in this, and it looks like we're doing pretty good. I'm not seeing, sometimes if you lung shoot them, you'll see where they blow blood out of their nostrils, so there'll be spray on leaves and stuff. I'm seeing more of dripping, big clots like this. So she's actually just bleeding straight out of the arrow wound, which is great. Gonna keep tracking along. There's some on the tree here, on the leaves over here, more on leaves, coming straight through here. I'm gonna keep following. Okay, now I don't have green leaves right here, so you really got to look, and this requires paying a lot of attention to the ground here. There's a spot, there's a spot, and sometimes it's really like this. You stand over one spot and you just scan the direction that it was heading to look for the next drop. When you find it, there, you take a step forward, there, and you just keep moving forward step by step. This is not a fast process. You really want to take your time because you don't want to miss and lose that trail. Other deer, when they're not hit well, this is really important to take your time and go slow. The deer isn't going anywhere. Okay, there's some. You're just heading on in the direction that she headed. You can see here too, I want to point this out. Hoof hits. This is the direction she's running off. You can see that she's turned up leaves as she's going. That helps us track her too. Okay, I want to show you something here. We've got this great sign going along the ground. Great blood right there. Got it on the leaves. Moving right along. Kind of summing up, we're about 40 yards from our tree stand. Got great sign that we're following. And all of a sudden, bam, there's my arrow. Okay. This is really exciting. We want to find that arrow. I'm also thankful it's not broken. This will be the third deer I've gotten with this arrow. But here's something on here. From here I can see how much penetration I got in the deer. And we're talking 2/3 of the arrow was in this deer. The other thing you can notice, it's bright red. There's no food on it. Sometimes if you've got like chunks of corn, little just garbage, if the arrow has a real sharp stink to it, not that I'm encouraging you to smell your arrow, but this is bright red blood. This tells me this is a good hit. This is in the vitals. This isn't in the stomach. Okay? Arrow's still intact. That one will get to go take another flight at a deer someday. We've got great sign here. When the arrow comes out, a lot of times there's a lot of blood on the ground, and we're picking up a whole bunch more right there. So we'll keep walking. Okay. We just picked up the arrow. We're taking about 10 more steps down the trail. I see blood here. There's a drip right there. There's some on a leaf. There's a lot on leaves here. A couple on leaves. And then we get to this area and there's not much here. Okay, here's where you have to really pay attention. I'd stand right over the last drop of blood you saw and I'd just start scanning the ground. And you just scan and scan and scan. There it is. It's one drop on a stick. One drop is enough to keep taking steps forward. There's another leaf right there. We're going to keep on going. So some drops here. You've got good splatter on the leaves here. Moving right along. This looks like an axe murderer came through here. That's awesome. Tracking right through here. We got leaves. More blood. Blood on the ground. We're just moving along. Every time we see some, take a few more steps forward. Keep rolling. Okay, here's another drop. We're now about 60 yards from our tree stand. And again, this area is a great, you can see little drops here and there. There's one. But here's the thing. If you step back and look, you can see right down the middle, there's some leaves turned over. A little bit further up, there's some leaves turned over. She's still running through here, and she's leaving a great trail. So theoretically, even if the blood trail was really thin, we could still follow this deer by trying to track those running marks. Deer walk through here all the time, but most of them aren't running, and they really leave some upturned leaves and great sign when they do that. Got some right there. Up on this leaf. Yeah, don't forget to look up high. A lot of times I get my eyes glued to ground and I forget that the deer's back is, the side is bleeding and it's rubbing against leaves as it goes. You can see sign on trees, as well as on the ground where she's bleeding out. Okay, we're now about 75 to 80 yards from the tree stand. Still got good blood. It seems like I'm getting far and she's really been running, but they cover ground so fast, and she was really hauling after I hit her. So I'm not going to let it worry me. Don't get freaked out. As long as you've got a good trail or something to follow, I'm going to find that deer eventually. Okay, my woods are opening up a little bit, and I'm scanning around, because now maybe there could be a body that I could see. And right over here, there she is. Let's go take a look at her. Okay, so here's the last part of our hunt. We found our deer, and I can get a good look at what we've been tracking here. This is a doe. It's a decent-sized doe. I'd call her a medium doe. This is the exit wound. I didn't think the arrow passed through, and it didn't. It went through her and then stopped. So she still was bleeding straight out of the bottom, which is why she left such a great blood trail. Well, let's take a look at the other side of this deer. Okay, we rolled the deer over, and I want you to see. Here's my entry wound here. Now, it looks a little far back, but I'm going to show you the angle. The arrow angled up, from up, angled down, and through. So this actually goes through. If you track this line here, it helps to think three-dimensionally when you're looking at your deer and what you're aiming at. This arrow actually went right through, probably bottom of the lungs. I'm sure I got her heart right here, and then it came out the other side. So this was a dead deer. She made a good run, probably 75, 80 yards. But the blood trail was awesome, and now we get our deer. So that's an awesome thing. I hope you enjoyed tracking deer with us this morning. I'm excited to find my doe, and I'll tell you what, it's one of the most unnerving things to watch your trophy go running off into the woods, but if you stick to a couple basic things, pay attention to details, take it slow, you're going to find that deer, you're going to bring it home and have some great memories to show for it. Thanks for watching Freewater Experience. We'll catch you in the woods.